Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the AskARoofer Minisodes. I am your host, Lauren White, and I am here with John Kenney. John, good to see you.
You too, Lauren. Always great to be on.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you. So, John, why don't you introduce yourself?
Sure, so I'm John Kenney with Cotney Consulting Group. So this is a great topic because going back into my career as being a roofing contractor, I worked with many different types of metal roofing systems for decades. So from new installations to restorations to coating projects. So I think we got some great questions coming up here today.
Yeah, definitely. So, we are going to be talking about recoating a rusted metal roof and kind of what you should know. So, let's just jump in. When evaluating recoating options for an aging metal roof, what things should a homeowner discuss with a roofing professional to determine whether a primer or acrylic system is the right solution for them?
Yeah, and that's a great question. And it's also a question that can be very confusing to someone who's not used to doing this. So I think the first thing that a homeowner should talk through with a qualified contractor is the condition of the roof, not just how it looks. So surface rust, pinholes, seam conditions, and fastener integrity, they all matter. So you're not just looking at the roof for what it looks like aesthetically. You want to go just a little bit deeper into what your situation actually is. So a primer and an acrylic system can be an excellent solution that's out there, but only if the metal is structurally sound and properly prepared. That's the key. If you take, it's like anything else, if you coat over something or even look at it from that simple aspect of painting over something, if I'm going to be painting over rust on my house or my door or anything else, what happens? It's going to bleed through and it's not going to serve us as we want. So I think if rust is active and not stabilized, and what I mean by not stabilized, it's not properly prepared so that you're treating the rust so it doesn't continue through the process, then there isn't any coating you're going to put on that's going to perform long term. So treating it and preparing the rust is an absolute must.
Yeah, definitely. And, people can kind of figure that out through roof maintenance too, right? Because not everybody's on the roof all the time. So, can you talk about that a little bit and kind of that importance of roof maintenance?
Yeah, so I think that from the contracting side, we don't think about enough for the residential maintenance. And I think residential homeowners don't think about it because, hey, I've got a roof. It's going to last whatever, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. And sometimes you get some of these older metal roofs, especially on homes, they may be on there 40, 50 years. I mean, depending on the age of your home you're looking at. So maintenance is an important part. I think that a homeowner is well served to find a qualified professional contractor in their area before they even have any issues whatsoever. Get a relationship, find out who's in your area that specializes in the type of roofing that you have on your house, and come up with a maintenance program. Now that sounds like, oh I don't want to spend all this money. It's not. What it is, it's a belts and suspenders where they at least will come out once a year, which may be sufficient depending on the age of your roof, and go over the items that are going to be top of the line list for going into next year's storm season. So as we know, storm season is not just winter, it's not just summer, it's spring, it's fall. So if we at least get it done once a year, what does that give you the opportunity to? The time of the inspection, they'll find something that may cause a problem. It gets fixed. So it's going to last for multiple more years after that.
Yeah, definitely. And that kind of goes into our next question of how does like that proper surface preparation and the system selection, right? Because it's going to
Sure.
differ maybe depending on the region that you're in, influence that long-term performance and maintenance cycle of like a recoated metal roof.
Sure. So from a contractor standpoint, this is what you want to look at. Your contractor preparation's everything. So when you have a contractor come out, if they're spending time explaining the preparation process before they do anything, that's what you want to hear. Preparation's everything. So proper cleaning, rust removal, priming, depending and determining whether coating lasts 5 years or 15, it all matters. It's a system. It's not just what looks great as soon as it's done. Like, for example, fibered aluminum coatings. And what I mean by that is it's a shiny aluminum, right? Think about it, it's bright. But when they say fibered in front of that, it's reinforced. There's fibers added in at the factory, and it gives it more basically strength. So you can buy you short-term life, but they don't stop corrosion. So now if you just put this on top of it, it's going to look great for a couple years, but then the rust is going to bleed through. Now, if you don't stop the corrosion the way a true primer and acrylic system does, or a true primer in any system, because there's multiple coating systems out there, not just acrylic. If they're cleaned and you put that stop on it to stop what's happening, and then you got your primers and your base coats, and depending on the system, then you have a true system put on. And when the right system's selected and applied correctly, recoating becomes a maintenance strategy, not a temporary patch. I'll give you an example, personal example. My aunt, when she was alive, she lived in New Jersey. The house was built in 22, somewhere around there. And probably in like maybe I would say early 80s, the original tin roof that was on the whole front porch area, which was probably it's a double home. They're very popular in the Northeast, double houses, started to have a problem. Now this roof serviced this house for probably what, 60 years or more. Not sure what was done. They actually just painted it. So I went up and I took a look at it and knew that we had to do proper prep work, which included scraping any loose paint off, taking care of any rust spots, putting a good primer down, and then putting a good base coat in the coating. So let's just pick 1982 because I think it was somewhere around there. That coating serviced that house for another 23 years before an additional recoat was needed. So
Wow.
that's what I'm saying. It's all in the preparation.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just like anything you do, right? Like whether you're painting a room, the more you prep it and get it exactly right, the longer it's going to last, the less
Yep.
likely it's going
Prep
to chip
works
or,
everything, as they
yeah.
say.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. Well, thank you, John, for all of your knowledge about recoating a rusted metal roof.
My pleasure. Always happy to be here.
Yeah. And for all of you listening, make sure that you check out John Kenney and Cotney Consulting Group on AskARoofer.com and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast so that you don't miss another Ask a Roofer minisode. We'll catch you next time.
If your roof needs answers, subscribe now to the Ask a Roofer podcast. We've got your questions covered, one episode at a time. Go to AskARoofer.com to submit your questions and learn more. Stay tuned and keep those questions coming.